all of the other skills that you learn along the way that aren't necessarily to do with your project is possibly one of the best benefits of the BT Young Scientist. Stuff like communication, as much as it's like a keyword and a buzzword that's used all the time, if you can't articulate your idea across, then what's the point in having the idea? Also, it was only when I went into college that I realised how important researching skills are and being able to kind of find correct information that's a reliable resource. Because after school, there's no curriculum, there's no textbook that kind of says if you learn chapters 1 to 10, you'll be fine. And doing a young scientist project actually makes you learn those skills without even realising it. The fact that you don't have a teacher there saying, study this, you get to pick what your project is on and you can take it in whatever direction you want, as opposed to having something that you mightn't necessarily be interested in. So you can pick something that you're actually interested in. It's also a great CV booster for employers down the road, which is really handy. I suppose a really great question is, are we too smart for our own good? And is the study of science and technology in our world today actually harming and doing more harm to the world? Stuff like climate change due to the advancement of technology that causes global warming, or mental health from social media platforms, or say medical advancements. Like, you would think, how could that be negative? But it also allows us to live for a lot longer, so it puts a huge amount of pressure on land capacity and food and water shortages and homelessness. But I think what's important to remember is that we can use those science discoveries and use the technologies in order to better our world by using it to combat and reverse the maybe problems that were initially created. And that's why I think science and technology is so important, that we should always be aspiring to do even better. And why not reverse the issues that we might see in the world around us that are created by technology and by science? So I don't think that we're too smart for our own good, and we should always keep aspiring to do more. Keeping a bit of a routine definitely helps and can prevent you from feeling at the end of the day like you've wasted the whole day away and you haven't done anything, because normally you'd be in school or meeting up with friends, or you'd always have like an activity on for a certain day. But also remembering not to put yourself under any pressure or anything to be like making these massive lists and learning all these new skills. And I always use kind of exercise to keep a routine, so I'd go for a run or just get out and about each day to kind of like get me up so that I'm at least doing something. If you have like an idea of lots of things you've always put in the long finger, make a little bit of like a lockdown list. So I did this with stuff that I was just making excuses for so long. Things like reorganizing my room after college or fixing our shed after the winter. They don't necessarily have to be like learning a new programming language or teaching myself this, but even just things that kind of at the end of the day you can say, okay, I at least started this, or I finally got around to doing something like that. Also, as you do things like little jobs or little tasks, or even teaching yourself new skills, you might come across certain things that are like, oh, I wish I had like a certain tool or a website that would make this so much easier. And more than likely, if you experience the problem, somebody else will as well. So that's a really good place to start for a young scientist project concept, and then develop it a little bit more, and you could really be onto a winner. So when lockdown started, I was still in college, and we were kind of doing remote learning. And then I was finishing off exams, and straight after that I started working in a pharmacy, which is really, really busy at the moment and massively under pressure because of COVID-19. So obviously I'm learning a lot there, and an awful lot about different drugs and that are prescribed for different reasons, combinations of medicine that obviously can't go together, and then why they can't, or what reaction might occur. I had no previous experience in pharmacy. Studying engineering, I didn't really do chemistry. I didn't do chemistry for the leaving cert purely because I didn't think I liked it for the junior cert. And I think I kind of struck it off a little bit too early. So don't forget that even if there's something you might think you hate, you might actually find it really interesting. So I was in transition year when I did the Young Scientists. I was about 15. So after that, I finished out school, I did the leaving cert, and I'm now studying engineering in Trinity. I'll be going into third year in September. Picking engineering was definitely influenced by the fact that I did the Young Scientist. Like I had a bit of an interest in it, but it kind of just put the nail on the head that that was what I wanted to do. And I've had a lot of opportunities to travel and meet so many new people because of science. Your life is definitely going to change from when you're 14, 15 to when you're finished college or halfway through college. Regardless of whether you do the Young Scientist, that has no role in that. But if you do the Young Scientist, it might just change that a little bit differently, and it can present you opportunities that you mightn't have even thought existed.